Boom! Welcome to Dad Business. Guys, we're here. We're going to have an amazing episode today. I have a friend that I met via podcasting that I'm excited to introduce you guys to. This week, you may have read, it's Jaret Reddick. He is the lead singer of Bowling for Soup. I know you've heard of songs like 1985. It's amazing. We talk all about this stuff. There's so many things that he has done in his career that blew my mind. The more and more I learned, not only having like a hit rock band for 20 years, is just all the other stuff he's done. One of the best theme songs of a cartoon in history, one of the most iconic children's characters ever. He's the voice of. It's like people are like, wait, what? Yeah, I know. It's just really cool. He also has a podcast called Rockstar Dad that basically is Granddad Business, except he's a rock star and I'm a comedian. It's just fun dads hanging out. Members of his band are on that too. It's so much fun. But thanks for listening. And I just want to say thank you for continuing to support. You might notice that a lot of my podcasts the last couple months have been every other week. It's just trying to find time to do some other things, to be honest. I'm trying to kind of, juggle a lot of things going on. With 3 kids and no live performing, no acting. It's tough. But I'm doing my live shows on Friday nights. Happy hour. You can check that out now on Periscope, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm streaming on all of those. You can watch it on any of those 4 things. Every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I have guests on from comedy, acting. Gonna have some musician guests. Jaret's gonna come on my Friday live show sometime. But thank you for supporting that, and especially thank you supporting through Patreon. Patreon.com/Aaron Kleiber. If you don't know what Patreon is, it's a way for you to support monthly for what I'm doing. And right now, it's better than ever. It really is because, we're all, distant. There's no live performing. So I'm trying to put on, the podcast and the live happy hours, and hopefully you're entertained. And if you can support monthly, that's dope. I appreciate you. $1, $3, $5 a month. But if you support, the more you support monthly, I send you stuff. We send you stuff my kids make. My little Becca the professor made bracelets for everybody. It was a cute thing. It was amazing that she did that for everybody that supports on Patreon. Also, you the more you support, t-shirts, stickers, just thank you. Thank you for doing that. And also, thanks for supporting the people that support me. Like Kid Mental, you can hear his beats right now. Go check out kidmental.com. Patreon.com/KidMental. He does theme songs. He does all kinds of music and beats for you. So go check him out. He's able to help you out, do that kind of stuff. And just enjoy his music too, because I love it. He plays every Friday to open up the show, hangs out with me on my live happy hour. So all love to Kid Mental. Also, Ink Division, ink-division.com. Go check them out. They're helping out comedians, musicians, entertainers with apparel orders. Go check out ink-division.com or just at Ink Division. You'll find them. They're the ones that print my apparel, Grown Dad shirts. Me and Kid Mental created these shirts. He's an incredible artist as well. And you go to GrownDadShirts.com. You can see all those shirts, like my Be Kind, Be Funny shirt, some music inspired shirts, some funny shit, just funny. Go check that out. GrownDadShirts.com. You can save, I believe, 15% with GDB15. That's dope. Also, huge shout out. I got to show the picture. If you're watching on video, you can see me talking. And that's I want to mention, that's also patreon.com/Aaron Kleiber. You get video. That's how you get video. You watch all the video. You can go check out Jaret Reddick's awesome art in his office, and his guitars, pretty dope. But a huge shout out to Mary Mac Bakehouse. Follow her at Mary Mac Bakehouse. You can check out her podcast, marymacpodcast.com. She sent some baking things, some muffins, some peanut butter and jelly muffins. Also sends me the Mary Mac chicken rub and the anything rub. I use the chicken rub on everything. I'm making wings tonight with the Mary Mac chicken rub. But She does the MaryMacPodcast.com, In the Kitchen with Mary Mac. She's just such a sweetheart, such a great person, supports live comedy, and knows that I'm a fat guy and my family loves to bake. So all love to Mary Mac. She even put some gourmet coffee in there. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. Also, last but not least, I just want to share this with you. I have a great supporter, thehivedistro.com. Thehivedistro.com basically points you to some of the best CBD products that they represent. I use CBD ointments and lotions for muscle pain, arthritis pain in my feet and my hands. And you guys can save, I believe, 20% with the coupon code GROWN, GROWN. If you order over $75, you get free shipping and handling. And there's a lot of things on there. There are bath bombs. This is CBD infused. It's not hyperactive like cannabis THC. You don't got to worry about that. But bath bombs, they have coffee beans, my Elixir Cure. I love that. They even have an all natural deodorant called Man Butter that I use. I love that. They have CBD tinctures, which are drops. Go to thehivedistro.com, coupon code GROWN, GROWN. Other than that, you guys, thanks for listening. Go back and listen to some old episodes. If you haven't, I have over 200 episodes on Grown Dad Business. You can go back and listen to some amazing celebrities, friends that I've talked to. Up, if you haven't listened, episode 200 and 201 are 2 parts with Bob Saget, Tammy Pescatelli, Brad Williams. Last episode, Johnny Beaner, hilarious comedian from the Midwest, one of the last guests on Letterman. So thanks for listening to the podcast. Thanks for supporting. I love you guys. And I'm thinking about taking a break in August, and then we'll hit hard back in September. Taking a couple weeks off just to get things going, because right now I don't think live performing is coming back anytime soon. So I'm trying to do my shows. I'm trying to get support for that, and I'm also doing some side projects. I got to go do some side projects. Go work in the yard. Go do some hardscape. I don't know. That's what I'm up to. I got to do something. But no, and we got to gear up for school. School's starting, and I think we're doing school at home. So, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. So I'm just trying to stay busy with my family and trying to keep things moving. But you can always listen. You can always watch it on Friday nights. And I hope to have more special stuff out. But you guys, thank you for being kind and also being funny all the time. On Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, always funny. I love laughing when you guys send in messages and comments. Always funny, because this is how we connect now. So I appreciate you guys. Enjoy this podcast with Jaret Reddick, everybody. Be kind, be funny.
Granddad Business with Aaron Kleiber. That's my dad. Hello! Underpants? That is hilarious. You should mouth to rate and review this podcast, or my daddy will go into a deep depression. Granddad Business with Aaron Kleiber. Yeah.
Boom. Jaret.
Aaron.
You're here, dude. Granddad Business. I did my hair for you. I was telling you, because you have the coolest, messiest hair of anyone I know.
Yeah, it's my hair. I got to thank my grandpa for the fact that I still have some, because many of my friends do not.
I know. I feel like I talk about this too much on the podcast now that I have video, but I'm starting to get that. But look, it's still hanging. We're still cool.
You're in good shape. You're in good shape, man. Yeah.
You have cool dad hair. Do your kids' friends look at you when you show up to places like, whoa, why is his hair so cool?
Well, yeah. I mean, it basically starts out when they're really little. It's like babies love it.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the point where it's like, well, I'm also covered in tattoos. So they get to a certain age and then they're like, yeah, why is your dad's hair sticking up? Why does he have pictures drawn all over him?
Dude, because he's a rock star.
Yeah, that's pretty much the answer.
I know.
Yeah.
For anybody, so I know I'm just talking like people know who I'm talking to sometimes, who knows? But they're already listening, so they know. It's just crazy that, I'm first introduced to you, as Bowling for Soup, as the lead singer writer for Bowling for Soup. But dude, I start learning about you, and there's so much stuff I want to unpack. Okay. Like, as a dad and an entertainer, some of the things that you have done have been like, could be bucket list items.
For sure. Yeah. I have been in the dad realm of things. But here's the thing. I'm still not cool, to my kids, but I will tell you that to their friends, yeah, I've got some pretty good ones under my belt. That's for
Dude,
sure.
I will say, first of all, I have been, since I talked to you weeks ago. By the way, you are Rockstar Dad. That is your podcast, Rockstar Dad. I was on your podcast, Rockstar Dad.
Yep, Rockstar Dad Show. It airs on iHeartRadio on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then it becomes a podcast available everywhere. The podcast is usually a little longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we talk about being dads.
Yeah.
My drummer and I, who we were sitting in a pool drinking beer one day, and we noticed, like, every time we get together, all we do is talk about our kids. It's like, this is a show,
I'm a comedian. You're a rock star. It's the same show.
Yeah.
just with different road experience.
Yeah, you're so very right. We talked about that on my show, actually.
Yeah.
Your listeners should go and listen to my show and compare to see.
This is great. This is like, it's fun that, like, at this point, anybody listening that, we have, like, hilarious moms, cool dads, like, single people, whatever. Everybody likes just people cutting up about stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's like a couple podcasts will just rotate. You just all the dad laughs all in one couple shows. It'll be great.
Absolutely. It's just something that, what we saw it as, and I'm sure this is probably part of your drive as well, was, you're getting comedians, we're getting musicians, comedians, entertainers, because every, dads, moms can be a rock star, I mean, it's just, great dads are just rock stars, and that was the whole force behind it. And it's something that people don't normally get asked about, because in the context of talking to the news station about your show this week,
right,
or the newspaper about your new special or whatever, they're not going to go, oh, and how's Billy,
right.
I mean, so so it's really interesting, because we've never been told no if it weren't a scheduling thing, because people love talking about their kids.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, especially like just, being able to talk to people that can relate to it, because there's only so much I could say on stage about my kids. You know what I mean? Like, there's only so much so it's just like, let's add another hour a week to cut up about our kids,
Right. Yeah. You're right. Because, if you, and same, I mean, I can tell stories about my kids on stage or on various outlets, or one of my podcasts or whatever. And I often do, but you can't just sit there and just talk about your kids, because you alienate all the people that don't have them or don't like them,
Yeah, true. You'd be surprised. Like, I'm sure you have fans that you never thought, you were like, really? You like what I do? Really? There's like, I'll be, I've had old couples, lesbian couples who don't have children. I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah, right.
Fun is fun. And that's why, dude, that's why I appreciate just, being able to, talk to you and like see another dad. By the way, realizing how much we have in common is ridiculous.
It actually started to get weird because when we had talked first, about getting together, well, actually, we should tell the story that the first time we actually met, you thought you were doing my show and I thought I was doing yours.
Yeah, no. See, we have a bunch of kids and we're busy and we're trying to float our creative careers during these times. So it's just, I didn't know what was happening.
Also, we're artists trying to do our own schedules.
Yeah.
And really that should be left to the professionals, but right now is the time to just like, hey, I'm just trying to do the best I can.
Yeah, I think I thought I was doing your podcast.
Right.
And then I asked you for a link because nobody has used StreamYard. StreamYard is how I produce my shows and my podcast. And so does Jaret.
Yes.
And I just thought, everybody I've done podcasts with has Zoom. So I'm like, hey, dude, send me a Zoom link. And you're like, why? Okay, man. Like, I'm already like, here, you do it for me. Like, like
that is I'm like, why am I sending him?
You're like, this dude can't even make a Zoom link?
But all right, okay, I'll do it. So I send you the Zoom link and we're just talking.
I felt like such an idiot.
And then I'm just like, well, do you want to go ahead and do your show now? And you're like, wait a minute. Are we doing my show or your show?
I know. So then we just hung out for a little bit. And then I did your show, Rockstar Dad. Also, dude, getting creepy here. I did a podcast about movies for about 4 years.
Oh, right. That's right.
You do. Jaret Goes to the Movies, right?
That's right. Yeah. Another weekly podcast that I do. I've been doing that one for almost 5 years. But yeah, and then we found it. Don't we have a connection? Both have a connection to Lawton, Oklahoma or something. What was the other weird thing? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
I'm sure it'll come up.
Well, Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh is another thing.
You do have a Pittsburgh connection.
I do. Yeah. So my dad and his family are from Pittsburgh. So I'm a rabid Steelers fan and actually come to Pittsburgh. Not this year, but usually once a year for a game.
Yeah. That's crazy. And then having stuff all over the walls and movie posters. And I'm like, if we were 10, we would build a shack together.
100%. Yeah. And if we were 40 and our parents got married, we would have just become best friends.
I know. What was I going to mention? So I had to tell you this because I was starting to say, since I met you, and I'm going to get into all the cool stuff you did because people like hearing cool stuff.
Yeah.
Especially... So I will have to say, I'm trying to be your friend here, but I also have to say, I have been singing 1985 since I met you.
Right.
And that's a thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
I mean, I've been very blessed to be able to put out some songs that are pretty catchy.
Here's the conclusion I came to. I was telling my wife, I was like, ever since I was like, oh yeah, Jaret, Bowling for Soup. Oh, that's a great song. But it's just, I think I perused through like, oh yeah, these are good songs. Yeah, I remember this. This is good. But in 1985, I just said to my wife, I go, this is my generation, our generations. We didn't start the fire.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah.
It's like, I just keep going through. And then it made me think of we didn't start the fire. I'm like, dude, but it's like the happy version. It was like, we didn't fuck up like our parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yours is like, hey, you guys were assholes. We're having fun. I'm telling you, Billy Joel is crying and you're like, fucking, we made it.
Fuck it. Right. Yeah, man.
So
well, I've never heard it compared to that, but that's just a good point. It's
like the happy version.
Yeah. Yeah. Luckily, nobody's like taken 1985 and gone, is this a song about Karen?
Yeah, no.
I just made that joke up, and I'm never going to tell it again. That one fell very flat.
I'll cut this. This is cut.
Leave it in.
I can't help playing with my hair.
Oh,
because it's not glued down. I'm not used to it yet.
Right.
So when I try to have cool hair like you, I touch it too much. Now I got like the Richard Marx haircut. What is this?
Oh, nice. Now you're like it's like Phil Collin from Def Leppard, like where it's like just enough, like it looks cool like that.
I'm going for Swayze Roadhouse.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, you need a little action in the back for that.
I know. Anyway, here's the other thing too. This is another thing that like broke my brain when I started because I wanted to listen to your music more. I want to like refresh.
Right.
And I'm like, they sing Stacy's mom. I know it's a whole thing, but I'm just being introduced to this. Okay.
All right.
Because I'm like, so I think it was like my wife or said something like, "Did they sing Stacy's mom?" I go, "No." And I asked my other friend, she goes, "Yeah, they do." I'm like, "No, they don't. I'm telling you, I DJ'd in the 2000s. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was another band. I know it."
Yeah.
I go on shout out Spotify. You can find everything on there from both of us. So I go on Spotify and it's like Stacy's mom bowling for soup. I was like, what is happening right now?
Right.
I thought I was going crazy. And then I see, I guess you had it on an album or an LP, and it said, I laughed my ass off for like 2 minutes. It said, everybody thinks we did it, so now we did.
Exactly. Yeah.
Genius.
Yeah. How
did that happen? Did you have people yelling at you? Tell me about this.
Dude, it was the craziest
because it duped me
time, because we were showing up at we were doing at the time 1985 had been this huge hit, and we were doing tons and tons of our shows, but also a bunch of fairs and things like that. Sure. And when you'd show up at those places, there'd be little kids, and they'd be holding up signs and say Stacy's mom, and parents wearing shirts, moms that just said, I'm Stacy's mom. And they'd come up to you and be like, I'm Stacy's mom. They'd be like, congratulations. I tell Stacy hello. And to be honest, I have two theories on what happened. Okay. But to finish the story, it got crazy. It got so nuts that if you Googled Stacy's mom, bowling for soup was the second thing that came up. Now, we had never performed a song, never.
And that is such a weird, I dug into it, and then I was like, what? Yeah. I was trying to think. I could not think of another band or bands that have ever happened to before.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, I can't think of one. I mean, but I can tell you that then it was iTunes was getting really big at the time, and it was kind of the only game in town.
Right.
And so I was just like, you know what, man, let's just cover it. And we sold 8,000 of them in 1 month. And I was and the great thing is I was good friends with Adam Schlesinger, rest in peace. COVID got him. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So from Fountains of Wayne, and he passed. No, he was the first celebrity actually. And very sad, and a great friend of mine. And
I did not know that.
He and I actually wrote High School Never Ends together, which is another one of our hits.
Oh wow, yeah.
And so anyway, I would tell him of this saga, and he would be like, man, that's weird. I'm just like, are people coming to your shows shouting 1985? And he's like, no, they don't even yell Stacy's mom at our shows, because he was just kind of like that humor wise.
Yeah. And
anyway, I sent him the song, and he was just like, it's so nice to hear our song with the vocals in tune.
Dude, I don't know if I should, God bless, rest in peace. I don't know if I went to the two. I like yours.
Yeah. Well, ours, ours it's got more of a pop punk sensibility to it. Because they were more of a power pop band, Fountains of Wayne. So here are my two theories.
Yeah.
Theory one, at the time those two songs were huge. They were huge at the same time. Both were all over VH1 and the channels like that. And all of my band are very recognizable, and they're not. They're all real, if Fountains of Wayne walked into the room at a bus station, you wouldn't know. Whereas we walk into a room, everybody's going to go, oh, those dudes, I know them from somewhere, kind of thing.
Yeah. What are they? Yeah,
exactly. And so they were very unassuming but good looking dudes, but just regular guys.
Yeah.
Theory one. Theory two. It's also during the time of LimeWire and Napster being so huge, and this theory is that it got labeled wrong, and it literally spread, and that would explain why it's like that worldwide, because it's not just like that in the U.S. It's like that in Japan, Brazil, UK. I do a bit to this day, and I do it every show because it works every time. Where I'm like, how many of you were excited that we were coming to town, and that place goes nuts? How many of you were super excited to hear our huge hit, Stacy's Mom? That is not our song.
That's great. I've heard there are comedians, some people have said, and another, I've had on small scales, people say, oh, you do that joke. And I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
That's Jim Brewer.
Yeah.
Nope. That's
right.
But I'm like, but thanks. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, it was such a phenomenon for a solid 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And it still is. It's still. I mean, it's still when I meet new neighbors. Swear to God, I meet new neighbors, and they're like, "Oh, you're the Bowling for Soup guy, dude. I love Stacy's mom." And like sometimes I'll just like not say anything.
Sure.
Like, yeah, you know. And I mean it. I literally last night got a email forwarded to me from a friend who was like, "Hey, my neighbor really just wanted me to forward this to you." And that was the first thing. Dude, I found you when I first heard Stacy's mom, you know, but Girl of the Bad Guys One is my favorite song. And it's just like, wow. So, you know, I mean, there could be worse things to be associated to your band. Like, I mean, at least it's not like a Creed song or something, you know, like you guys, the Arms Wide Open guys. Like,
No. I know. That's so funny. Yeah, I'm like racking my brain that like there's got to be some bands, and I know like I'm an R&B, a classic R&B and soul fan, you know, so I know that some people say, "Oh, doesn't so and so sing that?" Well, they made that popular, but Otis Redding sang it first, you know. There's stuff like that.
Old country too. Yeah, in fact, this is kind of
country, right? Big.
I feel about this is what I think certain genre, like I think our genre of music misses out on. And that is like we all do sound very similar, and like and our songs are similar enough to where we should be doing that thing where like Waylon covers Willie and Willie covers Johnny Cash and Johnny Cash covers Chris Christopherson, and you know what I mean? And you just are constantly, it's this barrage of this just unit, you know, of everybody singing everybody else's song.
Yeah, because you see some of the guys, you know, you look at, you know, or guys and ladies, you see some of these big stars, Carrie Underwood, you know, Beyonce, country singers, Bruce Springsteen, you know, they're singing each other's songs. Like, you know, I love this song so much. You guys do that at shows. Like
we do, but see, that's just it. We don't do it within our genre. We do it. We'll do, you know, we do like a cover every show, but it'll be sometimes really random, like a Katy Perry song, or we'll do a, you know, like I said, we'll do a Johnny Cash song or something like that. I mean, you know, most bands do that, you know, and actually we're releasing covers now because of the way the world of music works now. You can release a cover of a song without paying a royalty because the Spotify, YouTube, and all of them do your accounting for you. So if you didn't write it, you just don't get paid for that section of it, but you can get paid for the performance of it.
Right.
And so as long as you don't sell it, you can cover and put out whatever you want. And that's what I'm telling you.
Cool.
I'm telling young bands that all the time. Like, man, you have this.
Yeah.
You have the biggest accountants in the world doing the work for you, man. Just cover shit. You know? Yeah,
that's pretty interesting. Damn. Yeah, I think you're right. I think your theory of the LimeWire thing.
Yeah.
Because like I said, forgive me, I was a DJ in the 2000s, and I knew all about LimeWire. I was in college. You know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah.
And but I also my anxiety OCD in me, I would always be changing those errors. Like when you would download, like you'd need, like, you know, to DJ this weekend, I need these 2 songs, you know, from the radio, you know, and you're looking for songs, and I would see them all, and I would change all the file names. That's how crazy I was.
Right.
So you're right, because a lot of what I did, which was insane in my brain, right, is to like, that's not the name of that song exactly, and I would change it, you know. It would also help searching when you're DJing, but like, I think that is a huge plus it's such a good song, and they're like, yeah, Bowling for Soup did that. I love them. Like, you know, like it's
that's just it. Like the Fountains of Wayne were doing really well, but they hadn't had like a hit yet, and we had. And so, you know, I think it just, you know, it made sense. It also sounds topically like something we would sing.
Right.
So yeah, man. I mean, I think that's it. But yeah, that's
interesting, dude. It blows my mind.
It's still in our set. You know, we still play it, and you know, it's one of those things. I mean, it'll stick with us. I mean, again, it's been, you know, it's funny. It was, I guess it was 8 or 9 years that we were getting credit for it before we did it.
Right.
And you know that, and now we just still do. I mean, it's just part of the whole thing. But yeah,
it's such a weird thing that I was like, I got to ask him about this. This is so crazy. I mean, I saw a little bit about it, but dude, okay, I don't want to talk about somebody else's song for 20 minutes.
I think we just did.
Yeah, well, it's such a neat thing. But the fact that like, they're like, oh no, that band did it. It's so good. They did it. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Dude, there's other things. I just want to ask you about stuff because it's such interesting things. Because I mean, as entertainers, we're always intrigued by other people's paths.
True.
Like I'm like, oh, did you? So this kind of blew my mind. All my nieces and nephews, I know this was like huge. And as soon as I heard the Phineas and Ferb theme song,
yeah,
dude, I was like, it's one of those things where now, like, I consider you a friend, and I'm like, I find that out. I'm like, get the fuck, shut up, shut up. That's awesome. Yeah. And I was like, even my wife, I was like, honey, Jared did that song. Yeah. Like, I was like, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you meet some of your friends in showbiz, and you're like, you did the thing, oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's a fun ass thing to get.
Man, such a blessing and such.
You're that's like the lexicon of best cartoon theme songs of all time.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, I think it's up there.
So fun.
I definitely think it's up there with Scooby Doo and a couple of the other ones, Flintstones maybe. But man, that's a really cool story too. Actually, I love it. So basically, the two creators of that show were both writers on The Simpsons at the same time.
Okay.
And the Simpsons writer room, apparently at the time, Bowling for Soup was the go-to band that everybody agreed upon. So they were both
writer's room.
Yeah. Dan Povenmire went on to be one of the original directors and animators on Family Guy. Mm-hmm. And then Swampy Marsh went on to create Rocko's Modern Life.
Wow.
And so then they came back together doing this show, developing it for Disney, and basically had me I was basically the guy that was going to do the theme a year or two before I even knew it. And so they arranged this meeting. Now, so I go to LA, and I had already done Jimmy Neutron, and I had done like a bunch of stuff for Scooby Doo and things like that. Yeah. And various other shows, but I had been told no a bunch too. Like I had gone into a lot of meetings, and I had written a lot of songs for things that didn't.
Right. So, like you have that story at the 11th hour. Your new Pink Panther theme was canceled.
Yeah, I do. I have like things that were timed into. Dude, I had the theme for Shrek 2 until the dude from Counting Crows wrote the first happy song he's ever written in his fucking life, and just ripped it from me.
That's hilarious.
And not only did he do it, he did it with this magical song where I'm just like, he's better than me, just fuck you, Adam.
That's tough. I've been cut from about a dozen movies, and that's tough. That's tough.
Dude, sidebar.
Yeah.
We were in the Britney Spears movie as the band that the love interest is in at the very first of the movie. It's called Crossroads.
Yes. Oh, I remember, but I don't remember.
This is so sad, but it's just what you just said, man. Like, they basically have Bowling for Soup, and then I teach this guy how to play this song, and he's in our band at the first of the movie, like as I said. And so the movie comes out, and my guitar player's parents go see it, and he's completely cut from the whole fucking movie. So like, it's like me. There's like a little blurb of our bass player's shirt, and then you kind of see Gary for a second, and then it's just all Anson Mount, the actor or whatever. Like they just completely cut Chris Burney out of it. So that dude knows what it's like to be on the cutting room.
Wow.
But yeah, so Phineas and Ferb. So I go to LA. Steel Panther is this band that are you familiar with Steel Panther?
Yes.
Okay, so they used to do the thing where they had the residency, so they played every week. So I go to see them the night before, and I am hungover as all get out the day of my meeting. And I call my manager, and he calls me. He goes, "Hey, your car's downstairs." And I go, "Hey, I'm just not gonna go." And he goes, "What?" I go, "Yeah, they're just gonna like have me do some shit, and then they're not gonna hire me anyway. Like this is stupid. I'm gonna go back to sleep, and then I'm gonna go get some chicken wings,
Yeah.
And he goes, get up and get fucking dressed right now and go down and get in that car. So I do. And I go to this meeting, and man, I had the best time. I mean, there's this big sign welcoming me. Phineas and Ferb welcomes Jaret Reddick. Wow. And we had dinner or lunch, and they all cussed on the Disney lot. And I was like, we can cuss here? They're like, oh yeah, we can cuss. I'm just like, this is fucking amazing. You know, like, I'm looking at a statue of this.
You guys cuss at Disney?
And I'm like, this is fucking great, guys. You know? But yeah, man, they basically sat me down and they were like, look, we've already got a theme song, but we want you to turn it into like a song. So this 30-second song, can you make it into a 3.5-minute tune? And I'm like, yeah, you know, I can.
Dude, and you know what? Yeah. That was something, you know, listening back to it, and I'm like, this is a long ass song. And I'm like, it was such a good idea. They just used a hit single. Yeah. Yeah, they did. They just wrote a hit single for their cartoon, which is They did. Normal.
They're incredible. Well, you know, music was a huge part of that show. They wrote a song or two for every episode. And but I was actually able to, that day I got to read for a part, and I ended up getting a bigger part than what I read for, which was the singer for the band Love Handle. And then I got to write a bunch of songs with them over the course of the 9 years, and that theme will, you know, it'll be that show will be around forever.
That's what I mean, man. It's I know it's one of the best because, you know, I wasn't like a super fan of it then, but I know it enough, you know, to have seen it. My kids have picked it up again, and I just remember my niece and nephews were obsessed with it, singing it, where I knew the words. But like, it's such a fun thing that, like, you know, I'm excited to talk about it because I like celebrating other friends and other dads who, like, you know, you're like, it's a fun thing you get to do that leaves a legacy for your kids. Even though your music is fun, of course, your kids can jam and rock out.
Right.
But like having something like a cartoon like that, where you're just like, yeah, man, that's there forever. And it's such a creative thing to have, you know?
It is, man. And you know, it's funny. We kind of measure a lot of stuff by like how our kids react to it. While that show was really hot, it was really written for, so that cartoon is very calculated. I call it Shrek without the fart jokes.
Right.
There are tons of jokes in it that are for the parents, and they make the songs not annoying on purpose. Like they don't try to just earworm your kids. They try to make you sing along. It's brilliant. But they basically, Disney was having trouble getting like 9 to 13-year-old boys watching Disney.
Right.
Well, they accomplished that with this show, but it got bigger and bigger than that. But my kids really weren't into it because of just their ages didn't hit correctly. So my son is now 14, and this is his new thing, and it's been constant over the last couple of months because he's going into high school. But basically he'll FaceTime me at 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock sometimes, and I know every single time he'll be like, Dad, sing Phineas and Ferb for Aubrey, you know, and I'll just be like, man, I'm like watching, you know, I'm watching a movie. Just sing it real quick, and then all of his friends will be in the back. Mr. Reddick, sing it for whatever, and I'll just go. There's 104, and they'll all just go, ah! Go, thanks, Dad. I love you. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, dude. That is a funny thing. You think of being a teenager and be like, that's my dad. Nope. Yeah. That's like you're in that conversation and that's my dad. No, it's not. Call your dad right now. It's my dad. I'm telling you right now. That's such a fun thing.
This kid, he's the first one really to use it to his advantage. But he had a teacher last year that was mean as shit, but found out that she was a huge Bowling for Soup fan.
Yeah.
And man, he won her over. I mean, just like he brought her a guitar pick and like, you know, I mean, just full on used my shit. But you know, that's what it's there for.
I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna be like, I'm friends with him, teacher.
Oh, shit, I'm using your shit. I'm like, my friend's got a special out.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, that's a fun thing. Like, what do you guys want? Kids are here.
Oh, neat.
No, it's a fun thing that you know, I'm trying to find something like that. Like, I'm like, I want to do cartoon voices. You know, you audition for it and stuff, and it is fun when your kids can see you on TV and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've done a Nickelodeon show and they saw me do that silly stuff, but just to have like an iconic thing that is like, oh, like all kids love this. Like this it's rad.
Well, I assume we're segueing into the next one because I hit Phineas and Ferb, right?
Yeah.
And like I could have never known that thing was going to be as big as it was.
Yeah.
And then I remember the other thing. We were talking about improv comedy because I started doing improv comedy here in Dallas. And I usually don't say that to comedians because usually when you do, they'll just go, oh, yeah, like name a color, whatever.
Yeah. I get it. You're right. I just happen to have done improv for over a decade before I did stand-up. So
exactly. No, I know that's something what we had in common. And I meant to ask you on my show if like that's something where you got to be like, yeah, I did improv. Oh, and I did this thing too, because they'll just the comedian, the comedians, you're not like this, which is, I think, the reason why you and I are hitting it off as the way we are. But there's those comedians who have shows, so to speak, that can't allow the guest to be funny or to get a point across without them being able to exclamate that with their punchline.
Oh, yeah.
And so I got asked on a show, and they asked me how I got to be the voice of Chuck E. Cheese.
Right.
And
I was going to bring that up.